Joey Badass. Joey Badass.
The ruler's back.
You know what? I'm going down memory lane. I was going through our TikTok. Check us out on TikTok. And people cussed me out when I said, "Yo, like, do y'all know that the big three wasn't always Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole?" I mentioned some names. Now, granted, I should have been cussed out because I said Kid Cudi by accident. I got overzealous a little bit. I said Kid Cudi, but I was thinking about people who were out and new in that era. But Kid Cudi absolutely was never considered big three. No. But I will stand by Wale. I will stand by ASAP Rocky.
Big Sean.
I will stand by Big Sean. Those three, I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Joey Badass, to me, was always too young to be in that big three conversation at that initially when people were forming it. At that time, when I'm talking about when Wale and Big Sean people were coming up, Joey Badass was coming up like as this young kid with his new pro era crew. So I just don't feel like he fit. He was supposed to be the next big three. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward now, Joey Badass is a lot older. And now he wants his respect, brother. He wants his respect. In this random, what was it? The day after Christmas? Was it before New Year's? Shortly before New Year's? Randomly, Joey Badass dropped a song, a freestyle, where he said there's too much West Coast D-riding.
No, dick licking.
Yeah,
Let's be
true.
clear.
Which, by the way, I know a lot of people don't know that's Jay-Z. That's
damn right.
That's a Jay-Z 22 twos.
Definitely reasonable doubt.
22 twos, reasonable doubt. But he said that, which I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, he mentioned, the fact that, he has murals, forget a nomination.
He said, I got murals in my city. F a nomination.
City.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm the king of New York. Well, it's funny because he said West Coast, right? He said the West Coast, right? I feel like everybody in the West Coast should be insulted by that, right?
Of course.
But everybody associated that to Kendrick Lamar. So, number one, where did this come from? Like, talk to me as if I'm a casual hip hop guy. Where did this come from? This hostility between the two, and did you like it?
Let me say something, man. Yo, I absolutely love when people choose violence. I love it in rap. Yo, the energy. There's something about somebody like Joey Badass coming out of nowhere and just choosing violence and having everybody be like, yo, where is this coming from? I love that vibe. Like, that always be tight to me. With that being said, I'm excited because a lot of people do not know that Joey Badass and Kendrick have had, I don't want to say like a little rivalry because, listen, we all know Kendrick has gone on to do major things and he's become a household name and he's created a legendary catalog over the years. But you brought up something very important, which is that Joey Badass has been around for quite some time. He's the same guy who dropped All-American Badass. There's a bunch of albums, 1999, 2000. Yes. Very, very good projects that I do think people should go back and really look at his catalog. The man been dropping great music for quite a while now that hasn't been gotten talked about. And so I'm excited for that in terms of what people are going to do now that he's now shooting at Kendrick and the West Coast.
Yeah.
With that being said, this goes back to the Control era of Kendrick. Mm-hmm. We all remember Kendrick's infamous Control verse on Big Sean's song, Control, obviously featuring Jay Electronica as well.
Yep.
But if we recall, Kendrick claimed the King of New York on that song, which was the most blasphemous thing. I have still to this day, I cannot understand why he did that.
He did.
He's not even from New York. You can't be the king of New York. What gave you the right, the balls to even do that? I always think that was flagrant. It will never not be flagrant in my book. Mm-hmm. But what people don't remember is we remember people shooting at Kendrick for him challenging the culture. Mm-hmm. Meek Mill, Fabulous, everybody responded to Kendrick, rightfully so.
Yep.
But one person that responded was Joey Badass as well. and he went crazy on Kendrick. He said a lot of stuff. And I think that people actually don't know that. He's felt some type of way about Kendrick since that day. Since that time, I should say. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, this is definitely coming out of nowhere for most. Mm-hmm. But go back and check the history. Go check the game tape, guys. He's been feeling some type of way about that King of New York.
And I want to give
that King of New York diss since then.
I want to give you credit.
What's
I mean,
up?
you're one of the few people that said that Drake and Kendrick, there was tension there.
Definitely.
I was like, I didn't know that. You were like, yo, he's been taking shots. They've been taking shots at each other for years.
Right.
I didn't know, and you were completely right. This one, you had to tell me. I actually did not know that.
I appreciate that. But yeah, no. And so, by the way, a lot of people are saying this is a Kendrick diss. And it most likely is, especially with the whole murals reference. Well, cool. I kind of feel like he kind of shooting at Tyler too. Because Tyler, I might be reaching, okay? Tyler on his Hey Now freestyle says something about a Bentley truck, put that Bentley truck away. And here come Joey Badass with a Bentley truck in that video. And I'm like, is he kind of shooting at Tyler too? Especially with the whole West Coast thing looking like, I don't know. I might be reaching.
That's why I said the West Coast. I
reaching.
felt like a lot of people should have been insulted, by that. I mean, you never know.
But I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
You love it. Okay.
To start the new year off, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people are riding the West Coast.
It's not a publicity stunt.
People are riding the West Coast, and I think rightfully so.
You know,
but
Doechie's not a West Coast artist.
Don't
you know
matter.
That, right?
She's TDE. TDE's West Coast, right? SZA's actually not from the West Coast either.
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But what you think? What you think, man?
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead.
I want to say this. Let's get some hip hop history up in here.
Oh, let's do that.
One of the best hip hop songs, I think, in the last, I want to say 10 years, but it's been 12 years.
Okay.
Was One Train by A$AP Rocky.
Ooh.
And that's when I really got introduced to Joey Badass. One Train features
everybody.
Action Bronson, Big Crit, Yellow Wolf, Danny Brown, and then Kendrick Lamar and Joey Badass were both on that song. That was kind of like here's the new guys in the game that are about to take over. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, some of them didn't necessarily reach high levels like Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf is still a very good rapper, but he never became super duper commercial. But a lot of these people knocked it out the park, like Joey Badass, Kendrick, Big Crit. Man, do these guys like each other or not? Man, like, I find myself more and more these days saying like, yo, they really got problems. I really don't think they like each other. Like back in the day, like think about it. Before Kendrick Lamar dropped Like That, or rather when he dropped Like That, everybody was like, he's just being competitive, right? Mm-hmm. Joey Badass, if he dropped this song before Like That, people were like, oh, he's just showing his competitive side, right? These days, I generally feel like these people don't like each other, which is good for the sport of hip hop. You know what got completely glossed over? Mm-hmm. Who did something very similar to this? Denzel Curry. Denzel Curry had a song that dropped shortly after Like That where he took clear shots at Kendrick Lamar. Clear shots. Maybe even clearer than Joey Badass
remember that
shots.
One. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just swept on the rug. Nobody really talked about that.
Well, people don't really talk about Denzel Curry, period.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the main reason.
He's a lyricist.
Yeah.
Did I like it? It's scary. It's scary. It's scary, brother. It's scary. You know why it's scary?
Watch it, though.
I was saying it's scary. You know why? See, Drake versus Kendrick is Canada versus LA, right?
East Coast, West Coast.
East Coast. When it comes down to it, Canada's another country, and the US and even people in Canada still rock with LA. You know what I'm saying? Okay. In this beef. New York and LA. I lived that. I remembered that. New York and LA rivalry, right? Mm-hmm. I remembered that where Biggie and Tupac were going at each other. There was several people involved. Mm-hmm. Yes, Biggie and Tupac had their beef, but Tupac also had beef with Nas. He also had beef with Prodigy. He also had beef. Negro, they had Fat Joe Fat Joe, LL Cool J, Who Shot Ya?
Hey, listen.
DMX. Hey. There was a clip of DMX taking shots at Tupac.
Hey, real quick. Shout out to On This Day in Hip Hop, dope page. Y'all probably seen it on Instagram or whatever. Yo, one of the dudes from the Outlaws. This Nas.
Yeah, this Nas.
That's actually making your point. Like there has been East Coast, West Coast, and they still shooting in 2025.
It's crazy.
Think about that.
East Coast, West Coast beef.
Yeah,
and I know the typical person will be like,
thought that was unbelievable.
Typical person will be like, well, this is just between Joey Badass and Kendrick, right? Well, what did I just say? He said too much West Coast D-licking, right? If I'm a West Coast artist, especially a up and coming one, I should feel some type of way about that, right?
You absolutely.
And then let's say they return fire and say there's too much whatever New York is doing. As a New York up and coming artist, I should feel some type of way about that. This Drake and Kendrick beef, not a lot of people care. But it did pit a good chunk of Canadian rappers against LA rappers. It did. Pressa is a very good Canadian rapper. Not that he has direct beef with Kendrick Lamar, but I'm sure he can't co-sign what Kendrick did. You know what I'm saying? Like there's probably some that we don't know. My point being,
I'm just glad you didn't name top 5.
New York,
him a rapper.
He is a rapper, actually. He's
glad,
dropped an album.
I'm just glad you didn't mention
He's
him.
actually a rapper. He's a rapper.
He's more, he does other things too.
But he's a rapper.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe this will help hip hop. Maybe New York versus LA. Maybe this is what we need.
Look, I'm here. Listen,
it helped baseball, right? I watched the baseball playoffs because it had Dodgers and Yankees.
Yo.
They were on a freaking straight line curve to freaking meeting each other in the World Series. And that was the most watched World Series in a while because it was LA versus New York.
That's true.
Maybe this helps hip hop.
Now, granted, I got to add something on to this. Yeah, you're right. LA Dodgers versus New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. Let's be very clear. Not only was it the coast battle from a team standpoint, bro, they got the stars.
Let's
be clear.
They got the stars. Shohei Ohtani,
Aaron Judge. Goddamn, what's my man who just got the bag from the Mets? No. Who did he sign with?
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto's got the crazy bag.
Freddie Freeman. You talking Mookie Betts?
Yes, man. So they got stars. So my point is, as this relates to East Coast, West Coast,
New York
rap,
the stars.
Where are the New York stars?
Yeah.
I think that this has been the most vulnerable era within the last, let's just call it, since 50 Cent? No, excuse me, since Pop Smoke. Mm. Since the Pop Smoke era, because remember, New York has had a nice little buzz as of, we'll call it the last 5-7 years. We got A Boogie, we got Pop Smoke. There's been a lot of people, we can never forget Nicki. She puts on every time for New York City.
For sure.
But my point is
Cardi.
There's been some people who've had some buzz, but not from I'm him as a lyricist. Remember us? New York is the Mecca.
Yeah.
There's a certain energy that comes with that. Yeah. And that's why I like what Joey Badass did. Minus the whole, this could go left. Yeah, we all know what happened in the 90s. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. But just from a hip-hop standpoint, you got to love this.
For sure.
You got to love this, right?
For sure.
What is there not to like,
for sure.
in my opinion?
Sure. I mean, I'm curious to see, what, because
Kendrick's not going to respond to him with publicly. It'll be a sub. He gonna sub the hell out of Joey.
I don't know.
It's gonna happen.
I don't know.
You better believe it.
Big Sean. I don't know. But I look.
Absol.
New York should take advantage of this.
Absolutely.
Because I think this can be the resurgence that New York needs. Let one of these young up and coming rappers, get on the mic. Because one thing Kendrick did against Drake was he did that pop-up show and showed how united, ready for war, LA and California in general is. Tyler's been having Kendrick back. Have you been noticing this?
Of course he has.
He's been praising him, having his back.
You damn right.
Tyler's ready to go.
Tyler's rapping the best he's ever rapped.
LA right now, I feel like, I feel like LA is prepping for war. And it's like we all thought it was going to be potentially Canada versus LA, but the thing that's interesting that kind of is weird about this situation, like what I thought kind of made the Drake versus Kendrick beef interesting was The Weeknd, right? The Weeknd sided with Kendrick, so it was not like, one of their biggest artists was siding with Kendrick. That would be equivalent to like, Biggie and Pac were beefing and like Jay-Z sided with Tupac. It kind of just throws things off, right? The same thing with New York. Like A$AP Rocky and Kendrick, I believe, are cool, right? So where, A$AP Rocky might be the one that kind of throws the wrench in this. I don't see Ferg jumping into this. Like, I believe Ferg and Kendrick are probably cool. Like, but can Joey Badass gather some New York troops? If this is war, you know what I'm saying? How war goes.
No, for sure.
They we prepping our team. We be running the drills.
Yo, one thing, real talk. I like that, but it's also one of the things I was paying attention to again, everything's about Drake and Kendrick, guys. Like, in a sense,
it is.
At least we can make it about that. But the last thing I'll say is, man, I thought it was so. I always felt like this during that whole battle, right? And I was like, oh, the moment I knew Kendrick won, he had the advantage per se, was when I realized that Kendrick is clearly from LA. There's a storied history of hip hop, especially diss records within LA.
Yeah.
No Vaseline. A lot of them have come up, right? They've all have that. They have that in them. But then I realized, damn, where does Drake land? Where's the history that Drake can lean on from a hip hop standpoint, where people gonna have his back and they're respected? We know in 2025 you can go to every country in this world and there is a rapper that exists. So hip hop is so global. But when we start talking about the heritage, when we start talking about the heritage that's respected, New York City, the Mecca.
Yes.
There is no other.
I was just want to say
there's no
Drake,
other city that got that
Drake.
Energy. That's where Joey has an advantage. And that's where it's like, oh, we're going to see what happens with this.
Exactly. And Drake, I say the reason I bring, the alliance thing. How different would this Drake versus Kendrick beef be if Tory was out?
Ooh.
Tory in that DDG song, you heard it, right? He said, yo, I wish they would have came at me like they came at Drake.
But that's what I'm
Could you imagine if Drake and Tory were a tag team going up against that monster?
Let me tell you something.
Woo.
Let me tell you and the public at large. All right? I'm not here to say that Tory is a better rapper than Kendrick Lamar. We not doing that.
That would have been a tough one.
But let me tell you something.
That would have been a tough one. I ain't gonna lie.
Tory Lanez is a problem on the microphone.
And disrespectful.
We saw what he did to Joyner Lucas.
He takes it crazy.
Don Q, he got him out of here.
Yeah.
Joyner Lucas, he cleaned him up. He mopped the floor. He mopped the floor with Joyner. I respectfully. And I love Joyner. Yeah. Joyner's a dope rapper.
Joyner's a great rapper. I just thought that Tory was just getting too disrespectful. He just didn't care.
Because he understands.
He didn't
but
care.
see, Tory understands that competitive
And they were
angle.
playing. They were literally getting on lives talking about like, yeah, I got you next time. Yeah,
hey,
and it's
brother.
still getting disrespectful with it. Imagine if Tory Lanez tag teamed with Drake.
That'd have been a tough day.
And
tough
he's
day at the office.
Yo,
that would have been a tough day at the office for Kendrick. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man.
But
anyway, if Joey Badass can get somebody,
who does New York have?
Somebody.
Let me just throw some names out. Throw some names out if you can, just off the top.
Man.
Who does New York have?
Well, you're not count. Let's disqualify Buffalo. Because if Griselda jumped in this, whoa!
Wait,
but
that would be kind of
not gonna call Buffalo.
Wait, why not?
New York City.
Wait, hold on.
I don't think I would disqualify.
They
got
to be in that by proxy.
I mean, maybe
Benny.
Maybe. I mean, I said if Griselda.
Yo, can you imagine a diss track
City.
from West Side Gun to Kendrick Lamar? Boom, 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 boom.
I mean, who does New York? I mean,
who they got?
From a like because it has to be a combination of lyricists and it got A Boogie. I don't think A Boogie would do anything. I don't think A Boogie would do anything. I mean, not saying A Boogie wouldn't do anything. I'm saying I don't think A Boogie would want to engage in this beef.
I got you.
Essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
See, that's the fact that you're even taking this long. That kind of proves I think my theory, which is like I don't think that this whole, even when he says too much West Coast dick licking, I just don't think this will turn into what it turned into in the 90s.
Yeah,
because
of course it won't. But it is an opportunity.
Dave East gonna pop up out of nowhere.
It is an opportunity for young up and coming people that we may not know. Like I'm sure, when LL Cool J dropped Who Shot Ya, right? Fat Joe was relatively unknown. Foxy Brown was on the come up. There was DMX. Like I said, DMX, there was a clip I heard. Shout out Hush Money. He dropped that clip about DMX dissing Tupac and his Who Shot Ya freestyle. Yeah. So it's like, this is an opportunity for a lot of young up and coming people to potentially,
I agree with that.
Get involved, and it will happen.
We'll see.
It will happen. If Kendrick responds, Kendrick might just say, "Yo, hey, Absol, take care of my work."
I think Daylight, Absol, all them gonna come out firing.
Yeah,
Fire Squad.
They got I'm telling California, right? They ready.
They got a squad.
You can throw Reason at him. Is Reason LA? No, he's North Carolina, right? He's TDE though, but
not anymore.
Oh, he's not anymore.
Reason? You don't remember when he put in his resignation papers?
Oh, damn.
Last year, actually, early last year.
Like he be killing freestyles these days.
Ooh, Ray Vaughn.
Oh you may throw him at. We'll see. But I will say, we got to give credit because California, LA in particular, is united right now.
Yo,
man.
it's unbelievable.
They are united right now.
LA is primed to go on a run.
Yeah,
a serious one.
This is
their time, and
but Doechie's not from LA.
Do we want to call? Is it hip hop or is just Joey Bada just a hater?
That's the part.
Which one is it?
That was an angle I wanted to go.
Which one is it?
That was an angle I wanted to go.
Is he hating?
But that was an angle I wanted to go, but I don't think we have time.
We don't. We'll let you guys.
I don't think he's a hater. But
I don't either. I think it's hip hop.
Yes,
that's what I think.
Hip-hop, yeah,
and it's also personal, probably.
Yeah. And I want to knock this person off. Like so.
Hey, I thought you guys like peace.
I do like peace. Actually, I do.
Anyway, you guys let us know in the comments, man. Like, is Joey Badass hating or is this just hip hop? Like, which one is it? And also beyond that, do you actually like the move? Because I've been seeing some people say, "Yo, what is this guy doing? Like, he doesn't even know what he just did."
Well, some people were like, "Yo, like Kendrick did the same thing with like that. Like Kendrick randomly shot at
Control
or Control."
Come on now,
right? So it's
history repeats itself. Like this is nothing new. This is just hip hop.
Listen to the full episode. Link below.